There are generals who are feared for their tactics, and there are warriors feared for their strength. But there is only one man in the history of warfare who terrified an entire army without taking a single breath. Imagine the scene. It is the year 1099. You are a soldier in a massive invading army surrounding the city of Valencia in Spain. You have been told that the city's leader is dead. You've been told the morale inside the walls is broken. You expect an easy slaughter. But then, the gates swing open. And riding out to meet you is the one man you feared most. He is upright in his saddle, his famous sword, Tizona, is gripped in his hand, and his eyes are staring straight ahead. You panic. You scream that he is immortal. You break rank and run, trampled by your own fear. You didn't know it then, but you were running from a corpse. This is the legend of El Cid, the man who won a battle after he was already dead. To understand how a dead man wins a war, you have to understand who he was when he was alive. His real name was Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, but history knows him simply as El Cid, the Lord. He was the ultimate medieval badass, a knight so formidable that he didn't just fight for kings. He fought for whoever paid him, Christian or Muslim, and he never lost. He was a mercenary, a master tactician, and a national hero all rolled into one. By the late 11th century, he had conquered the wealthy city of Valencia, carving out his own personal kingdom in the middle of a war-torn Spain. But success paints a target on your back. The Almoravids, a powerful fundamentalist empire from North Africa, wanted Valencia back. They marched on the city with a force that far outnumbered El Cid's exhausted garrison. The siege was brutal. Food ran low. Arrows rained over the walls day and night. But the defenders had one advantage. The enemy was terrified of El Cid. As long as he was seen on the walls, the Almoravids dared not attack. But then, disaster struck. Whether by a stray arrow or simply the fatigue of old age and starvation, the great legend, the glue holding the city together, died. The timing could not have been worse. If the enemy knew El Cid was dead, they would storm the walls within the hour. The city would burn, and his family would be slaughtered. The people of Valencia looked to his wife, Dona Jimena, for leadership. She knew they couldn't hold the city, and she knew they couldn't surrender. They had to escape. But to escape, they needed to break the siege lines. They needed a miracle. They needed El Cid. And so, the most insane military deception in history was born. Jimena and her advisors took the cold, stiff body of Rodrigo. They dressed him in his finest chainmail and surcoat. They didn't put him in a coffin. They hoisted him onto his beloved warhorse, Babica. They strapped his legs to the saddle so he wouldn't slump. They tied his torso to a wooden frame hidden beneath his cloak to keep him upright. They wired his jaw so it wouldn't drop open. They even placed his shield on his arm and his sword in his dead hand. It was a macabre puppet show, with the highest stakes imaginable. At dawn, the gates of Valencia creaked open. The Almoravid soldiers, waking up for what they thought would be a quiet morning, looked up and froze. There, at the head of the charge, was El Cid. The morning sun reflected off his armor, making him look radiant, almost supernatural. Rumors had already spread in the enemy camp that he had died, so seeing him there, sitting taller and stiller than any living man, broke their minds. They didn't see a general. They saw a revenant. They saw a sorcerer who had cheated death. Panic spreads faster than fire in a packed army. One soldier turned to run, then 10, then 1,000. The Knights of Valencia, led by the corpse of their lord, charged into the confusion. They smashed into the disarrayed Almoravid lines. It wasn't a battle, it was a rout. The enemy trampled each other trying to escape the immortal ghost riding toward them. The Spanish history books tell us that El Cid's dead body led the charge that broke the siege, allowing his people to escape to safety. They didn't just survive, they routed a superior force and captured immense plunder, all because of the psychological weight of one man's reputation. Now, modern historians will argue about the details. Some say it's a mix of myth and poetry, amplified by the famous poem of the Cid. They might tell you he died peacefully and his body was simply transported out during the retreat. But the legend has outlived the facts for a reason. It speaks to something primal in us, the idea that a truly great leader is so powerful that not even the grave can stop their duty. Whether strictly fact or embellished legend, the story of El Cid's last ride remains one of the most metal moments in human storytelling. He remains the only general in history to checkmate his enemy from the other side of death.